I walk the road, a path unknown. Where others pass, I walk alone. Their smiles are warm, their words a song, but I've never quite belonged. The wind moves without purpose, without direction. Or maybe it carries whispers of thoughts too quiet for the world to hear. I've always wondered, are we just drifting, searching for meaning in the void, or do we create it ourselves? This is Windy Words of Parsa, a quiet space for those who think too much, feel too deeply, and find beauty in the unanswered. Here, we wander through poetry, philosophy, and fleeting moments not to find truth, but to embrace the questions themselves. So stay a while, let's lose ourselves, and maybe in the wind, we'll find something worth holding on to. Or maybe we'll just let it go. You don't fit in. The world is different from everyone around you. The world that you have is actually different from everyone around you. And this kind of loneliness is something that we usually experience as the people who are listening to this podcast. Sometimes I go out, I see that others enjoy things while I don't. Others talk too much. I tend to listen most of the times. Others think they know a lot. I don't. You probably don't too. Others turn happy by simple things, while I don't actually find anything so much interesting for me to fall in love with or to enjoy enough or to um, get a pleasure out of it. I think that everything should be so gigantic in order to be enjoying. For example, I love to have the whole world for me to, be happy. Actually, I'm sure that if I do have the whole world, I'm not going to be happy either. But, right now, this is what I think. I think that it shouldn't be like this. I'm a classic guy. I love vintage things. I appreciate all the old things. I listen to the oldies. I watch classical movies, listen to the classical pieces of music, and I'm still someone who does work with AI and actually is using the technology as much as others in this period of time that we live in this era. But I'm a classic guy. I just don't like, you know, few things so much. They're fake, they're ugly, they're having bad effects from my mind. Of course, this is not something that you should be on the same path with me about, but this is what I think, and it's okay. You might think something is some way that I don't think like that, but it's okay. It's actually the fun thing about loneliness. And all these things that I said and mentioned are probably the things that differentiates you from the world around you. This is what society awards, the more you blend in with people, the more you are like them, the easier life gets because the society appreciates sameness. And that's something we cannot do anything about. But what if you have ideas that don't fit into the world around you and your ideas are so unique, your appreciations are different from others, what you believe in is different, and nobody you can find that understands them. For example, you might be an atheist And there are a lot of atheist people around you, of course, but what if the kind of atheist you are is not the kind they are? They might do some other things that actually prevents them from being the kind of atheist that you are and you like to be. Now that you're here, you're probably feeling alone, at least a bit, even if not too much. I personally do feel alone too much, but even if you feel good and you are satisfied, of course you are feeling loneliness at least a bit, because this might not be a great podcast. We're not having great sound quality and stuff, but you know, just to keep calm here and be around each other as a lone and lonely community, this is something that you might like to do. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not crazy. I was talking to air. I think in this era that everybody's actually losing their way, everybody's losing their uniqueness and stuff. It's the best way actually to be and to feel, because your uniqueness definitely makes an impact in the history. We know that a lot of the people who are famous, who had affected many lives and many beliefs, were actually alone and they felt alone, like Dostoevsky or Nietzsche or a lot of other people that felt the same way. They might be so much uh, in the state that they hate the world, and it's okay, because being unique has always changed the way um, our world is throughout the history, and we know that this is definitely gonna make great changes. I'm the same as you, but we should accept our uniqueness. What's the there is no need to fight with anyone, is there? I don't think so. I don't think there's any need to fight with anyone that is different from us, someone that we think they're stupid or whatever, someone that we might think is sensing too much. There's no need to have fights. We should just maintain our uniqueness, but enjoy it and understand that this is something great that we have. I personally believe this is like a gift, because throughout my life and whatever good I did, although they were not so good, whatever good thing I did was actually because of my state of being lonely, because of my problems, and because of my passion about loneliness. I've always seen that I'm ahead of a lot of people around me, and when I actually start to reflect on the growth I had in some areas of my life, they were all about my loneliness, and they happened because I was lonely and alone. And after a while that I saw the usefulness of loneliness, I grew even a lot more. Let others get what they want. Let their pass their lives the way they want, and we know that we are making footprints on the land of history. Beneath the moon I stand apart, the world's whole, but I'm a shard. No one hears the silent cry of a soul that's different, asking why. Another very important thing to reflect on is that you should actually find your own ways to deal with your loneliness. It's okay to really need a lot of times to rest and to have a good time or maybe bad time because we as lonely people usually tend to enjoy, being sad and staying in the sad part of our lives by listening to the sad music we actually might want, or watching the sad movies we like. But among all these problems, you should find your own ways to make something good out of your loneliness. I myself, um, throughout all my lonely journey, have tried a lot of ways to deal with my loneliness. It was saddening for me to see that a lot of people around me were having fun and they were enjoying their lives when there was a ceremony or something. They enjoyed it, they danced, they laughed, they told jokes, and a lot of other things. And I was kind of enjoying, but pressure I had from the fact that I thought I was guilty because of having fun has always stopped me from feeling good. And this is something awful. I don't know if this is depression or something else, but whenever I see other people are happy, I really love it. I really love to join them and enjoy that they're laughing, they're dancing, whatever. But I'm feeling that I'm guilty that I'm having fun, or I really need to have fun, but I cannot. And this has always been something too tough for me to deal with, because I really knew that I am losing my youth and time for being happy and having fun, because I knew that if I grew up older, I'm not gonna have these kinds of fun and I'm gonna lose them. But it's okay because among all this sadness, I've always found a way to deal with my loneliness. When I was a little bit younger, I mean, I was a 13-year-old boy. I didn't play with other kids, but I actually worked with Photoshop and After Effects. I don't know how and why this happened, but it's always made me being ahead of a lot of people around me. And my the subject I study the university now is actually animation, so it's definitely why. I also had some jobs in these areas. Actually, whatever job I had were almost related to these areas. So you see, that really was helpful. Then as I grew up, I started to rap. So I wrote poems and it was a great time for me. I enjoyed creating the music and rap, and I thought that I will be a great rapper, but that actually lasted 2 years. And then I stopped rapping and, writing poems. But, we don't have much time in our lives, apparently. Again, we do feel guilty about what we like. I've loved for a long period of time to create a podcast channel and to talk and try to connect with other people and tell them that they're not alone. I just don't know how to find the words good, but I'll get better at that. But there was something that always stopped me from creating my podcast. The same thing that stopped me from continue rapping, from starting rap, from continuing my graphic studies. This has always been perfectionism. I don't know why is that, but perfectionism always gets in our ways. I don't know why, but lonely people usually have more perfectionism. I'm not as, psychologist, but perfectionism has some relationship with this. And perfectionism always have stopped me from doing the things that I love and from getting bigger, better, and more powerful. But in the last year, I found a way to it. I just dealt with it so hard. You see the quality that you're seeing right now, you're hearing the sound of mine, which has never been something good enough for me. And if I had the same perfectionism level I've had in the past, I would have never started my podcast. But you see how dirty I started. So, this dirtiness that I started with is actually the key to fighting perfectionism, because perfectionism is not going to really let us do anything. Nothing. I've had the highest levels of it, and everybody around me actually accepts it and tells that I've had the toughest levels of it. But now you see that I'm dealing with it. So I would recommend you to listen to me, because a lot of my friends still are dealing with it and they cannot do anything about it. You should just do it. This is the sentence that everybody says. And actually, that was the way. I tried to do it so much, but I didn't. And now I did, and I found the results. It was good. It saved me. But something that helped me a lot again was really for real. I'm talking about perfectionism and dealing with it. It was just doing things, and not by doing things good. But the first step I made was that I created a private Instagram page and a private folder on my computer, on which I created reels and videos, and I posted them. I posted stories, the most sensitive stories and posts and videos and photos that I could, about what I wanted to tell people, but I didn't know how to, and I knew they sometimes might be explicit. So I didn't do it. I could not do it, and I still cannot share them publicly, of course. But in order to get things out of me, I started to write. I started to post in a private page on Instagram that nobody has ever looked at it. Imagine about creating a podcast or a YouTube channel. You might feel that, the quality is not good. You don't know how to talk. You don't know how to do shit. But, imagine how good it can be if you actually make the worst video you can and post it on your private Instagram page with absolutely no followers, and just get the things going. At least try not to lose your ideas. This helps you a lot. So when you are ready, you have a lot of things done already. So please try to know that, and please always stay alone, but the kind that always grows. The one who doesn't grow is gross. So it was my poetry, but I was better in rap. Remember, always the best arts, the most effective speeches, the best songs, paintings, pieces, crafts have always been made when people were alone enough to go crazy and try new things without caring about anything at all, without caring about the financial situation they have, or the materials they have, or what people are going to think. So try to remember that always and maintain positive. I actually do believe this is something so stupid to say. Maintain positive always. This cannot never be something that you can do. Of course, you may never stay positive, but it's okay. And just know that someday it's gonna end. You're gonna find your way. You're gonna do it, and just try for it, at least in your privacy. Please know that someday you will find the light, and that day you have to be ready. You must be ready. Please have a great day. a great night and great time with your loneliness. Also enjoy talking to other people sometimes and try to have fun, no matter what kind of fun, but the kind of fun that you enjoy. You might not even enjoy, but you think it's fun, but not for you. Try to do that. After a while, you'll get used to it. Remember, Kafka's stories explored alienation. Now he's one of the most influential people, or the misunderstood dear Vincent van Gogh, who were always sad but creating. Now that he's dead for a long time, everybody's hearts are touched with his pieces. Goodbye.